Thank you, Brian and Aaron, and hello, everyone. Before we go back to the 1950s, two unexpected moves by CBS last night during Super Bowl 50. First, announcing the end of The Good Wife after 7 seasons using a 30-second message. Many a Super Bowl has included introductions for new series, but this may be the first time the game showcased the end of one. The final Good Wife episode will air in May. The Good Wife turned out to be a trigger point for bringing scripted series production back in a big way to the Big Apple, Brooklyn included. And creators Michelle and Robert King will move on to Brain Dead, launching on CBS this summer. The second move was running a message for CBS All Access, the company's programming service running via smart TV sets and smart TV making devices. The famed CBS Eye logo moved from place to place, set to Marvin Gaye's classic song, Let's Get It On. The underlying message, CBS All Access is on its way to challenging Netflix, Hulu, and similar services. In a Fortune magazine piece posted online before the weekend, CBS chief Leslie Moonves confirmed All Access will be heavy on original exclusive programming, including the revival of Star Trek coming in early 2017. Now, with all the quality original programs available on TV right now, some people are labeling this the second golden age of the medium. In case you're puzzled over when the first golden age happened, look back to the 1950s, the medium's first full decade of existence. One series that was gold in that age was Omnibus, as unique a series ever constructed. Produced by the late Robert Sordick and hosted by Alistair Cook of Masterpiece Theatre fame, Omnibus was just that, a living magazine of culture and talent where viewers didn't know what to expect from week to week. Leonard Bernstein would deconstruct Beethoven's Fifth Symphony with the New York Philharmonic, one episode, and in another, Frank Lloyd Wright would serve an illustrated theory on architecture. Classic and modern drama sequences were weaved throughout the season. Omnibus lasted most of the decade, winning every award it could qualify for at the time. And now Amazon Studios, via Smart TV and those Smart TV making devices, is about to raise the curtain on what may be this golden era's Omnibus. Again, a living magazine is the approach, and this time it's about bringing one of the notable long-running publications of all time to life.
The thing that is inspiring to you, make it actually happen.
Get on the ground now.
We have split seconds to make a decision to shoot or don't shoot.
This is my son, and they killed him.
9/11 could have been stopped.
The CIA was not telling the truth.
It's a rough sport.
Get up, quit crying. Are you champ or chump?
Champ.
Champ or chump?
Champ. There is an absence of men in the community because so many of them are serving such long sentences.
A growing number of American prisons are now for-profit businesses.
It's an interesting and compelling investment opportunity for a lot of investors today.
We are apart from nature rather than a part of nature, and it could be our eventual undoing as a species.
People tell me, oh, I live in New York City. I said, oh, really? Do you know my son? And they say, there's 10 million people in New York City. What makes you think I know your son? And then I said, oh, he's a naked cowboy. And they say, oh, yeah, I know your son.
Thinking of ending therapy. There were times, I just know it, when you weren't listening to a word I was saying, right?
Not a word.
Amazing.
Can you blame me? You never shut up. The whining, blah, 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 blah. Who cares?
Action. I think that we can only change this world if you change consciousness.
series will mix short documentaries and scripted segments with interviews, poetry, animation, and cartoons, all inspired or adapted from The New Yorker magazine. The pilot episode, which Amazon viewers peeked at last year, featured noted director Jonathan Demme's take on the feature A Valuable Reputation, sketch comedy featuring The Good Wife co-star Alan Cummings, and a visit with performance artist Marina Abramovic. The New Yorker presents debuts next Tuesday, as you saw, and key producer New York editors will lunch with journalists here in the Big Apple, yours truly included, tomorrow afternoon. It'll be fun to see if this series influences this golden age as Omnibus did in the last century. And by the way, if you want to see examples of Omnibus at its peak, you can go to the Paley Center for Museum in Manhattan or see some clips on YouTube.
Cool. What do they serve at these lunches?
Sure, a lot of good food. And David Resnick, by the way, the editor of The New Yorker, will be among the folks in attendance.
They're on the radio now on NYC with the New Yorker Radio Hour, their podcast. Now they're taking over Hulu.
Yeah, and I think they do very, very well. It may be the most different show that we've seen on television all season long.
And they have such a long history and such great writers. So, something like this, was it unexpected or?
Well, Amazon put this up first to their viewers as one of the pilots they showed last year, and I understand it was one of their top pilots, and that's why they decided to greenlight it as a series.
Okay,
All right, go ahead and then. I know you were throw the papers up in the air about The Good Wife.
I literally thought I was missing the memo when
we all were.
Came on. I said, "What? The Good Wife? They're canceling The Good Wife in the middle of the season? What happened?"
Well, first of all, there was talk before the Super Bowl that CBS was going to cancel for a couple of reasons. First of all, Michelle and Robert King were going to leave the show and concentrate on Brain Dead, which comes on the network this summer. Secondly, the cast contracts were up for renewal. And third, the ratings were going down a lot. Not just their ratings, but the ratings that followed the show, The Good Wife. And part of that was because The Good Wife is on at 9 o'clock. A lot of the NFL games CBS had and the 4 o'clock hour ran overtime, and so that pushed the Good Wife back. You didn't know when it was exactly going to start. So all of that contributed. But you have to say this also about The Good Wife. It's been on for 7 seasons, had a great run, 1 Emmys, 1 Peabodys, and also was a major thing in terms of CBS producing primetime shows in New York. It was because of that we started to see more primetime production, including Person of Interest, Elementary, Unforgettable, and this season Limitless, all shot in New York, and it was The Good Wife that triggered all of that. And that's beside the fact that Michelle and Robert King based the show in Chicago, and even though they did that, they said, let's do it in New York anyway.
So one thing about this CBS, can I tell you, the only show I watch on CBS is The Good Wife, and I missed last week, so I went to put the CBS app on my Roku. They asked me my mother's maiden name, my blood type, my email, all of this stuff. I just wanted to see the episode of The Good Wife that I missed. And at the end, they made me sign this thing to say, oh, I can share this with advertisers and everything. And I declined and I cut it off and looked up the episode online. So they lost me. I don't think that it's going to be that big a success. Why would I go through all that when I can just type in one of these services and watch the episode?
Yeah. But at least you have 9 more episodes to go, and it ends in early May, and I'm sure that when CBS has their fall season preview, they're going to get a great send-off.
So can they compete with a Hulu or Roku or streaming when all they have is their content that they give away for free anyway?
Well, here's the thing. They want to produce more original content. In the Fortune magazine piece, which I saw before the weekend, Leslie Moonves, the head of CBS, said, and I've heard him say it before then, we are going to produce more original content. It's not going to be just reviving Star Trek.
Yeah.
We're going to try to do stuff of our own. We may try to bring some of the CW shows that are not doing well, like Crazy Ex-Girlfriend, Jane the Virgin, maybe keep them on in new episodes, put them on All Access exclusively, and then work with outside producers.
But it's still regular TV, right? It's still nothing that they have, why would I go through all those hoops to watch a 4-minute extra behind the scenes that I can see on Entertainment Tonight?
Because they want to be more than that. They see how Netflix is doing with millions of subscribers. They see how they're really pushing the envelope in terms of putting more original production. And they see that Amazon and Hulu and so forth are doing. The other thing is that, again, this is the result of people buying smart TV sets and Roku and Chromecast. They are watching these services on the TV. I believe CBS All Access has about 500,000 subscribers in about a year, and I will bet you that most of them are watching it on TV, and I think that's why they decided in the Super Bowl game to run that 30-second promo with the Marvin Gaye tune.
Yeah.
One thing I want to mention before we go, this past Wednesday, American Crime on ABC had an incredible sequence, one of the best moments on any place this year, a 5-minute dance number that was done by a group from Houston, Texas. John Ridley worked with them on it, and I want to give credit to Rachel Morrison, the director, her second directorial ever. She was the cinematographer on Dope last year, Fruitvale Station before that. She is definitely a talent on the rise. And Leela Wigley, director of photography. It is one of the great moments you will see on television this year. 5 minutes, 1 camera, no editing, no cutaways. It's a brilliant sequence, and ABC should put this on YouTube as soon as possible.
Can I tell you, that started an argument in my house because I thought it was genius and my husband was not with it.
I have to watch this.
It was good.
Okay. Are we ready for a Star Trek? Another Star Trek?
I think
reboot?
so. It's been a while since we've had a Star Trek series, and J.J. Abrams is behind it, and Roberto Orci, who's done a lot of great TV work and movie work, also with the Star Trek films, and I think CBS has got to win. They're going to have a problem with their local stations because the first episode will run on CBS, and then the rest run in All Access. I'm sure that some of the CBS stations around the country are very concerned about All Access.
We'll let the fights begin.
How they're going to build that network when they don't have a show on their network that's a hit.
Well, that's probably.
By the way, quickly, going back to the first segment on ethnic media, it's interesting that Spanish language television, despite the fact it's growing in the ratings, we're seeing more Spanish language networks, they're still having a problem with Spanish language advertising. It's like 65 years that this medium has been around, and you still see a lot of major advertisers who are not involved. And that is trickling down to the likes of El Diario. I was very shocked to hear about the El Diario layoffs, but a lot of that, and El Diario is a worldwide phenomenon, not just a New York phenomenon, and the fact that they can't get Spanish language advertising from some of the key sponsors, not to mention the city funding, it's really shocking that they've lost half the
We're going to leave it right there.